The year was 1973, and the United States was in the heat of the Vietnam War. Winter was brewing, and resident Greg Cook wanted to fulfill his dream of opening a restaurant.
At the very beginning, it was just a real small space. I think 12 tables, maybe.
A young entrepreneur, Greg used what he could to make his dream a reality.
Well, he had only $5,000.
With half-sun, stained 2x4s and star shapes with small lights stapled to the ends which served as chandeliers.
Paid $300 a month for it, just rented the space. So we had to redo it. So there was some wood and some brick, pink brick on this wall. And then so we put just knotty pine on the walls. We draped burlap on the ceilings. It was lower then, too.
Service was on torch-burnt plywood tables, and rolled-out burlap served as a soft ceiling.
So we draped burlap on there, and then built those little chandeliers out of 2x4s with little lights on them. So I didn't really have a lot of money, and then made booths out of just plywood and burnt those.
Dubbed the Burlap Days, Friar Tuck's was open for business with food, wine, and live music.
Wine and music, and added the fondues, cheese fondue, just the cheese fondue, and little appetizer things.
Being one of the first wine bars in Northern California, it didn't take long for the word to get out.
Listen to music, have some snacks, and a glass of wine. That was the idea.
Business was booming, and Greg knew he was onto something big.
I started in '77. I had a job as a waitress, so one of my jobs was to chop wood for the fireplace. We had a little wood fireplace in this corner over here. When he was a teenager, his family used to do cheese fondue at home, and so that's why he started with that, because it went really well with wine. Had some bread and cheese and wine. And it was a good combo.
By the mid-1970s, bands from near and far were getting their chance to play at Friar Tuck's. It became an honor to bring your music to the hottest room in Nevada County.
That just kind of evolved. We worked so well together, and we just really enjoyed being around each other. And so we just started clicking and making up different plans and deciding the changes that we were going through.
In the early 1980s, Friar Tuck's had built a name throughout Northern California. In 1982, Greg married his sweetheart Rona, bringing new ideas and a new future to the establishment.
We did 2 steaks and red snapper dish and then the cheese fondues, and we started doing the hot oil fondues.
The restaurant doubled in size with a full bar, steak, and seafood, and the legendary restaurant was born. 4:15 a.m. on March 20th, 2002, a call goes into 911 about a fire in the historic district of Nevada City.
Heavy black smoke showing. 2-story commercial on Broad Street in Nevada City. Looks like 316, 318 Broad Street.
Wasn't a very good day. So we got a call about 3:30 in the morning, and said, your restaurant's on fire. And we're all panicked, got dressed, came down here, and you could see the fire engines all around. They were spraying water in the upstairs window. Flames were shooting out the window up there.
When firefighters arrived, they had no idea what they were in for.
Came down Broad Street and rounded the corner and saw the flames about 40 feet in the air, and then I knew that we were in big trouble. And at that point in time, there was really nothing that could be done. The firemen, I don't think, there was not much hope of saving the building. They were trying to prevent it from spreading, which is what they did successfully. The roof started caving in, the different floors started burning and falling down to the first floor. So it took a long time.
Like 17 fire trucks, closed the whole town down. Everything was full of smoke. You could see the smoke from Nevada City for miles. And then TV reporters were all up. And
so when I hit Sacramento and turned on talk radio in my car, I heard historic downtown Nevada City was on fire, as well as historic Friar Tuck's, and I about went off the road.
The Elks building containing the legendary Friar Tuck's restaurant had been completely engulfed in flames. Smoke billowed into the air throughout most of the day, damaging neighboring businesses.
As the doors were open, bottles of wine were washing down the streets and stuff. So, well, we knew it was a total loss right away. You could just tell there was nothing. There was like 5 feet of water in here.
Power was cut out to most of downtown, and businesses remained closed for days from smoke and water damage.
It was just, okay, life is, what are we going to do with our life? What do we do? How can we do this?
Owners Greg and Rona Cook watched as the building collapsed on itself. In tears, they held each other as 30 years of memories were turned into ash.
And so I immediately just came to town, found this whole section of town in ruins, and the boss is out crying on the street down here, and it was a sad day, but yeah, quite a shock that was.
All told, over 100 firefighters from 15 counties fought to get the fire out, keeping it from spreading.
Couldn't come in for a long time because it was so toxic, toxic building, so you couldn't go in and look at anything. So we had to, talk with the insurance company, and then we had to draw, a map of what it looked like, what was in here, make a list of everything that was in here, and
the nearby reservoir was nearly depleted in the firefighting efforts, and a 100-year-old building had been reduced to rubble. Greg and Rona stood in front of Friar Tuck's with tears in their eyes and 30 years of memories gone.
Yeah, we knew it was a total loss right away. You could just tell there was nothing. There was like 5 feet of water in here.
2 brick walls was all that was left among the debris and the rubble from their restaurant.
You couldn't go in and look at anything, so we had to, talk with the insurance company, and then we had to draw, a map of what it looked like, what was in here, make a list of everything that was in here.
After they finished their investigation, they released the building for demolition. And within an hour, the building was on the ground. Because it was a safety issue. We're all worried about the big, tall brick walls falling into the street. So we got the building on the ground. Tremendous volume of debris that had to be removed. All the debris was hauled directly to Nevada, and the site was cleaned up.
The insurance company and the community members came together, drawing up new plans and new ideas to revive the once legendary Friar Tuck's.
Just wait for the insurance company and see if they were going to, what we were going to do with the building, to talk with the landlord. And
it would take 14 months to rebuild.
The theme was the heart and hands of Nevada City, a proposal that Leanne Brooke had come up with as far as decorating the protective barricades we had to build around the site. Hundreds and hundreds of people placed their handprints on the barricades and wrote their names there, and it was something that added some beauty to a site that was just so devastated. And it was very special. I've never ever seen a site that had that sort of personality. Leanne Brooke really needs to be commended for her thought process. And like I say, she wasn't a business owner. She wasn't really directly affected, but it was a contribution she wanted to make, and it was great.
But they got it done.
So we knew the bar, who we wanted to build the bar, because we'd seen some work at the restaurant conventions. So first thing we did was call these people to build a bar.
And the town rejoiced with a grand opening celebration that lasted weeks, with live music, great food, wine, and dancing.
It was like everybody was so happy to be able to come back. It was just full of people.
With a new custom-built bar, interior architecture, and seating for more patrons, the new Friar Tuck's was born.
We had a big opening. First dinner we did was for all the contractor and the people that worked on the building, so we had a big dinner so we could test out all of our skills and stuff like that. So we did that, and then we had a friends and family kind of opening, and then the next day we opened up for business.
People came from near and far to congratulate Greg and Rona. Many more wonderful years would pass until Greg grew ill.
It was about 2 years after he died. My daughter came up here to work with me, so we were kind of co-running it together. So she was a really big help, put everything together, and started working with everybody.
He passed away December 30th, 2016. Rona continued to run Friar Tuck's with her daughter up until 2018, when the restaurant was then sold to its current owners, the Page family.
Well, they just seemed like when Chad was here, he was bartending and waiting tables. So one night my daughter says, why are we looking for somebody outside the area? Chad, you should be the owner of this. And he goes, what? And I guess I went from there. He must have gone home and thought about it, talked to his dad, and I guess they said, I think we could do this. And that's how it all started.
In 2019, with Chad working as a bartender at Friar Tuck's, Rona approached the Page family about buying the restaurant.
Yeah, it's a really interesting story how we came to own Friar Tuck's. After Greg passed away, which was really, really tough. He was such a big part of this community in so many ways. Really blessed the community and helped it grow, from the 70s till now. Carissa and Rona came up to me and said, we'd like Friar Tuck's to carry on, but we'd like, you to be the one to take it forward.
Ready for the next chapter in their life, Ken and Chad Page became the proud new owners of the legendary Friar Tuck's on April 11th, 2019.
Well, when we got this restaurant, Chad and I knew that we were all about blessing the community and providing a place where people can experience real life. They can flourish, they can have fun. Like I said, best place to do it, the best temperature of Nevada City is to look at the smiles, the faces, and what's going on.
Their focus was to maintain traditions, bringing a fresh new life and a new vision to the Friar Tuck's legacy.
I really think made just some amazing changes in the way we're able to impact our employees, and our customers and our community. The sky's really the limit.